Hi, I'm Amy Shapiro, journalist at CTech. We're here today as part of our annual VC survey with Tzahi Weisfeld, the co-founder and chairman of Ignite DeepTech. Tzahi, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure. To start off with, Tzahi, I want to ask you, with your expert in this area, software is potentially a bit easier from an entry point of view than hardware. Hardware is quite expensive. Are Israeli VCs truly built to fund high capex deep tech ventures?
Well, the answer is yes and no. So there are plenty of VCs that don't have the stamina or the length to invest in these kind of companies. We mostly focus on deep tech. But if you look at the industry in Israel, you look at Intel for years, 2% of GDP, and you look at the blessing of the NVIDIA investment, I think we'll see more and more of deep tech, silicon, quantum, a lot of companies that do require more capex. What I think we're going to see is a change in the way that people are investing. So we're going to see consortiums, which are local investors, global investors, as well as corporations, government funding, and non-dilutive funds for projects are going to happen around the world. So I think that the market is going to change to allow more deep tech investments, but I think some of the investment will look a bit different than it used to be, where a single VC will take the whole round and will run with this SaaS company all the way. I think that will be an interesting way to fund these companies.
Interesting. From your point of view, do you think we're seeing or starting to see a trend of more sovereign tech so that countries are less reliant on international platforms?
So again here, I think it's a combination. I think that it's not about just sovereignty, it's about optionality. So I don't think it's just going to be sovereign tech. I think that what we're going to see is, because there are so many new models and they're changing so fast, and you need to adapt them and you need to work at the pace of the market, we're going to see, as we've seen multi-cloud kind of companies, we'll see multi-model kind of companies, we'll see still multi-cloud, multi-infrastructure. So some of it will be for security perspective and local government related issues is going to be sovereign. Some of it will stay global, optional, and I actually think that Israeli companies have an advantage of doing these multi-platform environments. So again, it's going to be a combination.
Absolutely. And finally, Tzahi, in Israel for the past decade, cyber has reigned king. By 2030, what do you think will be its number one export to take the throne?
So I still think that cyber is going to be a big thing. But if you look at what people invested in cyber companies, it's global trust, right? They wanted to invest in trust in different platforms. There is a new need for trust, which is around AI. So I think what you're going to see is a lot of this secure AI infrastructures, and I think this is where Israeli companies could be really, really, really good at how do you make sure that whatever you do on AI is trusted, is secured, the data that you put out there doesn't go around and puts you in an IP risk. So we're going to see multiple companies dealing with these kind of challenges. So I think that's an area where we're going to see great Israeli innovation. And as I also mentioned regarding multi-models, I think part of the risk, no one wants to marry to a certain version of a model because the models are changing so fast and they're so better every round. So I think also the ability to trust your models and be able to continue and run on multiple models and not marry to a single version will be another area that we could bring a lot of interesting innovation from this market. But there are a lot of things beyond cyber and beyond AI which I really hope to see our market step into. So if you look at old industries like construction, and you look at industries like supply chain, so every customer that we sign up for Ignite DeepTech, and the best deep tech companies around the world and the largest cheap companies, if you look at companies like NVIDIA, and you look at almost every company, they deal with challenges of supply chain, for example. Think of AI, and think of AI and robotics and supply chain. Think the same in construction. These are areas that haven't evolved as fast as needed, and I think we have the right talent here, and we're working with all these big companies around the world we need to be there to help change also these markets.
Well worded, and some exciting things to look forward to then in 2026. Tzahi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And for your brilliant predictions, and enjoy the rest of your day here at the conference.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.